Alright, we are back here in the winter biome. And yeah, I was digging a big hole. And you have to guess what it's gonna be. What do I build? And yeah, maybe measure the time and check the time in the YouTube video. And yeah, put in the comment section at which point of time you realized what the build is gonna be. Let's jump right into the time lapse. Have you guessed by now what kind of farm this is? Or building? Well, now I revealed it. It's a farm. And it's gonna be a tree farm for the new warped and crimson trees. And yeah, that's how far I got now. And the next step is a little bit bug fixing. So I will now bring some bone meal and see how generally that it functions correctly. And then also I can discuss it a little bit on what's going on here. So we in the farm have a little bit nylon down there, which you can't see. It's behind the crying obsidian, and the bone meal is this is bone meal trying to grow a fungus, and then also the fungus is bone mealed, and then the tree is mostly the middle part is pushed this way. So mostly we have a wood farm here, so we are mostly getting wood, but also here on the sides we push a little bit some of the wart blocks as well as some of the shroom lights, and slowly then the next tree is growing so that we get a huge block here of wood. What you can see here is that the push wall is not completely full. So you see here's a gap with the green, and here, and as well as here. So wood is pushed here and here, but not here. So there will be an empty stripe here from this perspective. But then also there will be an empty stripe from this perspective and this perspective. And so that we will get, hopefully, if everything works out, fingers crossed, we will get a big wood cube, or mostly wood. And we will have 4 holes. These 4 holes then we can later use to extend the farm, so that we can use TNT or creepers, or for example, for exploding the stuff automatically. I decided to go for something like this, where I don't have to babysit the farm. So now a lot of wood can be created first, and then I can shortly come, hopefully, and yeah, mine a lot out, for example via axe or via TNT, and then stuff is growing again on its own without any babysitting requirement. So then let's also have a look in a time lapse on how everything is growing. As you can see, we got quite a big cube of wood and wood block now, and it is actually also what was the intent here. And with the stoppers here, where blocks are not moved in, we get automatically these holes, except for 1 block at the bottom, like so. And so now we have the option of just manually farming everything, or alternatively we can use TNT. So let's also see, I don't have any wood on me now, just to see how good the rate is at the moment. So it's not a super optimized blast chamber, but it should get the job done. The stuff was exploding here and then is just channeled down. Yeah, and I just built a water elevator, which maybe not work yet. Yeah, okay. So the wood is down here. Let's have a look. Alright, okay. It's about 3.5 stacks. That's pretty good for a basic blast chamber, which is not like super optimized or anything, but yeah, there's still a lot more wood to go. So if we would detonate TNT a little bit higher, so we could easily get the double amount, I would say, or even more. So that is also one of the steps then, to make a little contraption up there, which automatically dispenses some TNT. And also here, I'm not done yet to also do some more decoration. So I started decorating a little bit. Since we have some explosions going on, I used end stone here a little bit, since it has a little bit of blast resistance. But I find it very, very difficult to find blocks that somehow look good with end stone. So yeah, I used this warped stuff here on the floor. I think that looks pretty good. And in order not to add more colors, I just added a little bit of these mushroom blocks here. But yeah, let's look up what I changed here. So before it was a manual process, right? I had to ignite the TNT manually, and here you see the red dangerous stuff. It's now a set of dispensers which fire up. So we have per hole, we have 2 dispensers. One is immediately firing, and the other one will put TNT on top of a piston, so we have a delayed firing, so that the TNT is not firing on the ground. And yeah, this is pretty much it. So 2 dispensers per hole. And then here we just wired up the signal. So in here we have the collection system. All the drops will go in here, down here, and funnel into this chest, which should be mostly empty. Yes, and I also switched out the nylon block with the red one. I don't know the name right now, unless you can see there. So now as well the cube grow partially with the crimson wood. I think it looks pretty epic. Also what I found is that the explosion sometimes destroys these letters here, so maybe I have to extend a little bit more the crying obsidian wall, but we will see how that is going. Oh yeah, and also what I wanted to show you is that which is working now as well, that you see there a minecart. Maybe you can see it. It's directly under the lilium, so all the roots and all this stuff. We get quite a fair bunch of stuff back. So this is just harvested from while I was still here decorating a little bit. So some of the stuff is we get back, which is quite cool. And then we can either use this for nice building, or alternatively I put up here a nice little composter. So then it's gonna be composted, put into bone meal, and there's an elevator, and then back into the system. And here we also feed in the bone meal now. I couldn't have a proper space up here, so I put it on this side with an elevator into the system. Here we also have a small indication lamp, so that we know if there's enough bone meal in the system, the lamp is on. And now it starts backlogging actually, so it's not good to put more in here at the moment, but if the lamp is off, then we know that we should add some bone meal. Yeah, he's also excited about the new system, all of them. Very good. Let's do another run here with the TNT. Yeah, and see how that works. So we should get we have 4 holes, and each hole we should get 2 explosions. And hopefully not too much is getting destroyed around. Are you ready? That's always an exciting moment. I'm a bit worried. So the signal goes up. First one, second one. Okay, it's getting funneled here. That seems to work. So here you can also see that our big cube got quite a lot of stuff got removed. Yeah, then it's collecting here. I still have to assess that nothing is despawning. I think nothing should despawn. And maybe I need to close off the water stream. He also wants to see what's going on. I understand that. Yeah, I have to close off the water stream. But we can see then in a second on... Yeah, it's actually a slime farm as well. I'm not sure if I told you, but from now on it is. Yeah, in a second we will see on what we get. Okay, so the items are now all funneled in. And that is what we got. I think that is quite good for one button press. So we got 9, 10, 11 stacks at least occupied. It's not full stacks here, but yeah, these are at least full stacks. Yeah, so 6 full stacks, and then some other stuff as well. I mean, this doesn't belong in here. Yeah, but this is quite good. I think just for a button press. And yeah, I also labeled it the boombox. So now it's possible then that it's passively running in the background, and we just come here and just click the button and pick up some wood. I think that's pretty good. And I also really enjoy the view of the boombox. Absolutely nice. So now we can restart the system again. And here we could see more and more wood pushed in again. Pretty good. On a different note, we built the storage system a while back, and I also wanted to experiment with it a little bit, see how this type of system really works, and yeah, so far it has been quite good, or very good I would say. I really enjoy it, but it also had a few flaws. For example, one being that we are relying on a minecart, which if you leave the area will freeze in position since the chunks unload, which in principle is fine if the system would just resume normal operation afterwards, but this one does not so. So that's why also the creator intended like an on-off switch here. So before leaving the system, normally it should be turned off. But in fact, Tia and I, we every now and then forget to switch, or we forget to switch on again, and then we have items stuck, or we forget to switch off again, and then the system breaks with the minecart. So that's a little bit annoying. So yeah, I did something actually which I have not done before in my Minecraft life, and yeah, so when the system is running, we now give a signal down here, secret signal, whoop, and we build a little chunk loader. I actually always hated those, but I think for this type of storage system, it's kind of required. And the chunk loader works by a fungus design. So we have a minecart here, which travels into the portal, and this will load the other side, the overworld, for 15 seconds. And the other way around as well. Then we have a minecart coming in here, which will load the nether for 15 seconds. I can put this one in here. Yeah, that's basically the system. And this then iterates back and forth, so that, because after 15 seconds also the area would be unloaded, and then we have a clock here that keeps it loaded, so that the whole area with the storage system is permanently loaded for as long as this clock is running. And this clock is running, we have an instant resetter clock here. It's from a guy called Untitled Chapter. I think it's the best clock in Minecraft, I would say. It can go very short pulses, it can go extremely long delays, and it can be instantly reset. So whenever we keep sorting items, we reset this timer here, and it keeps on going until storage is done. And if this is then stopping, then also we deactivate here this timer, which is just there to control the minecarts going back and forth. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and I tested it already, so I was flying off, and I was also logging even off, and the system continued running. That's pretty good, especially the part that it's no longer breaking is at least to the testing I've done so far, I can say that it's not breaking anymore at the moment. And this is really good. Then I'll sleep, and I'll show you also the system in action. So here we can see the system in action. The minecart goes in, and shortly afterwards comes back. And then the minecart is waiting here again. and then sent back to the nether. This way, this area remains loaded, and yeah, the storage system no longer breaks, hopefully. So whenever there's a new set of items sorted, we get a pulse, as you can see here, which will refresh this signal here. Let's wait for it. There we go. So this is refreshing it, and then this clock is allowed to run longer and longer, for as long as there are items in the storage system. Pretty good, pretty good. I hope that was not too technical. Yeah, just hope that the system now is a little bit more reliable. And now it is award time. So this week's award goes to Kill Your Sins. Kill Your Sins asked on Reddit on how it was possible to move so slowly with the minecart for the mini Tiny T mini game. And that's a very good question. Multiple people had the questions, and I found that I maybe haven't explained that well enough in the videos, and but maybe the answer helps more people. So let's jump into the answer, and thank you for asking, Kill Your Sins. Yeah, and the answer is that we need a very special clock, so we cannot keep the powered rails running all the time. And this special clock is achieved with two observers facing into each other, but they need to be placed like this with a piston, because this clock is not the correct speed. But if we take it away and put it in, now it has the right speed. And if we now here go on a minecart track, then we go very, very slowly, which is of course beneficial for the target game we did, but also it can be beneficial for other stuff, for example like farms. For example, you can use this system to AFK, for example, plant some nether wart, or you could also mine ice, and yeah, then maybe when it's time you can harvest it with water stream, and then replant it automatically. And such a slow minecart is just about perfect for this purpose. So thank you, Kill Your Sins, for asking the question. I think that was very good, and sorry for not explaining that correctly earlier, but I hope this explanation now helps a little bit. So yeah, that's it for the episode. Bob believes bystanders being bedazzled by Bob's bombastic boombox. Breathtaking. Bob barks. Bye bye.